I this morning visited Malakuta, which was extremely worthwhile. Again, so impressed with our emergency management services and our volunteers and the community writ large, and of course the ADF are doing a wonderful job in their support. It was a really worthwhile visit. I had an opportunity to understand the issue of fuel in the town, and we are now resupplying fuel to make sure that the generator has sufficient to power the town. And we're also providing a logistics planner to make sure that, obviously, with the town currently being isolated, it has a number of complexities, and so we need to make sure that we can have people there who will continue to plan and understand exactly on the ground what the needs are. Now, obviously, concurrently, we have engineers that are working their way through to open routes in. And I also note the other complexity of a sandbar that's formed where normally landing craft would go, and I saw the work being done to dredge that sandbar so that we can get landing craft in. You would have seen this afternoon on news about the issue of Kangaroo Island and the fact that the fire has broken containment lines in the north. We have had forces there for several days, both in the north and the south, ready to provide support for evacuation if required, and I know the teams are working very closely with emergency management services to make sure that we can provide whatever it is that they need at this complex time. And obviously acutely aware of the difficult conditions that we will see over the next 24 to 48 hours in other areas as well, and we are postured for that. We're providing engineer support to containment lines in Kangaroo Island, as I said, Tumut, Eden, the ACT, and also in Bega. We are supplying remote communities in the alpine and snowy regions, and I'm pleased to say, while the Great Open Alpine Road is open, it only has limited access, and that's for emergency management services and contractors who have passes to go through for specific purpose. Our Army support teams are expanding in the southeast coast, the Southern Highlands, Tamworth. We are providing additional medical support in Tumut Hospital. We are undertaking fire mapping to support our emergency services, and that's particularly looking for hotspots. We're still doing assessments, obviously, on damage, but in particular with the difficult conditions, we're making sure that we are providing as much information as we can to emergency management services to inform what they need to do here and now. We've finished last night disembarking evacuees from the Choules, which is great news, and now the Choules is loading again necessary stores to take back to Malakuta. We're providing fodder resupply into Bairnsdale. The filtration pumping system is now set and working in Kangaroo Island, and we have unmanned aerial vehicles that are online in Victoria today, and we will see what taskings they provide in due course, but principally the purpose of those unmanned aerial vehicles will be to provide assessment of damage so that we can inform, again, emergency management services, but also inform for the recovery phase as we move forward. We have New Zealand engineers ready today, providing they will provide support in South Australia and in particular Kangaroo Island. We have our first New Zealand helicopter that is on station in Nowra, and we'll have 2 additional coming online over the next couple of days, which are very welcome indeed. We'll have New Zealand C-130 support shortly. I note the Singaporean Chinook is now operational out of East Sale. Papua New Guinea Defence Forces very kindly offered an engineer element of around about 100 strong, which will work at this stage in Victoria, although we will continue to reassess and see what the needs are when they arrive. But I've got to say, it's a wonderful thing to get their support, and I think it really does show the close relationships that we have forged over the decades, and I for one am very happy to have them on board. We are supporting 8 Department of Human Services pop-ups over New South Wales and Victoria, four split each way. We have a joint task force in South Australia currently linked up with Tasmanian leadership and emergency services just to make sure we are well postured if situations should change there. And we have a liaison node and three communications nodes supporting Kalgoorlie in West Australia to make sure, again, we are postured to support the emergency management services there should they require it. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Colvin about obviously the recovery phase that will come, and I committed to him that in the coming period we are going to develop a database of all the things, all the issues and needs that we see, because obviously we have a lot of people out there talking to a lot of people. We can provide that to his team in a database which hopefully will provide a seamless transition. I think collecting information now is critical so that there is no pause. In terms of Army Reserve numbers, yesterday was reported by General Bilton 1,200. We're now at 1,600 Army Reserve and continuing to grow. And look, my last point, having been at Kangaroo Island yesterday, Malakuta today, I just want to say again, having seen it with my own two eyes, the wonderful, wonderful work of our emergency management services, our volunteers and the community at large. It makes you very proud to be Australian, and I know the ADF are very happy to be supporting them. So that is all for my update. I'll now ask if there are any questions about specifically Operation Bushfire Assist.
That sandbar at Malakuta, how long do you expect to take before that's cleared?
I'm sorry, the sandbar?
Yes.
So I've been told between 3 and 5 days, although I did say to the team that were doing it, the quicker the better.
Right, and so you can't land those landing craft there until that's out
No,
of the way?
till that's gone, we can't.
Right. No. And with the Papua New Guinean offer, is there a date when those troops might arrive or engineers might arrive in Australia?
Look, I think it's over the next 5 or so days, but I think that the exact details are still being worked through. And look, the other great thing about this is because the 3rd Brigade that are based in Townsville constantly work with the PNGDF and the engineers specifically, we're going to be able to partner up. People who have worked over on Exercise Puk Puk, which is one of our activities that we do with Papua New Guinea Defence Force engineers. We're going to partner them up so that when they're here, they have some very friendly faces that they know.
Right.
Just in regards to Tasmania, is Brigadier Cantwell there today?
He is, yes.
Can you just talk us through what he's doing there?
Absolutely. So he's talking to the leadership, the local leadership, state leadership, and he's also been engaged with the Emergency Management Services leadership. I just spoke to him before. He hadn't yet spoken to the Premier, but he was about to. But he's engaged with the emergency management team, and they are coming up with a plan of how we're going to make sure we're well postured to support anything should the need arise.
There's warmer weather expected there over the weekend. Are you expecting to send anyone in?
Look, I'll wait till they've had their discussions, whatever's needed. Obviously, we already have reserve forces based out of Tasmania, so it would be a matter of making sure that we have the right capabilities at the right time.
And can you tell us where he has gone in Tasmania, or sort of what regions?
I couldn't tell you specifically. I'm sorry.
Just with reservist numbers, when are you expecting to have the full complement of 3,000?
Look, you know, the numbers continue to grow, but again, I want to stress that it's important that we understand that the time on this is ill-defined. So we need to make sure that we have capabilities over a period of time. So we need to manage that.
For sure. And just with Kangaroo Island as well, can you talk us through what the teams are helping with evacuations there today? What sort of things are they doing?
So look, it was late breaking news. What I do know is that I provided guidance to my commanders, and my guidance was they are to work with the emergency services and to not wait, to act. And so I have every faith that between them and the emergency management services, they'll be doing exactly what they should be doing.
On the south coast at Eden, has the HMAS Adelaide been called on to a greater extent? Over the last couple of days, Defence has been saying that they're ramping up operations. What's that looking like?
Yeah, so I've already had vehicles that have come off the Adelaide. We've had elements, forces that have come off the Adelaide to go into the southeast coast area. So they're actually well postured to be able to do that. But again, with the difficult conditions coming, it's really handy to have. The other thing is that we've found in the recent past that there are times when we can actually have a helicopter take off, but we can't land because of the smoke cover. What Adelaide provides us with the opportunity to do is to land on the deck and then cross-load people or stores, whatever it is, onto landing craft and put them onto shore, and then they can drive to wherever they need to. So it's a very flexible and handy thing to have.
Apologies if you mentioned this at the start, but in the Victorian high country like Bright, Wangaratta, Hotham, where is the military going to base assets, if any, things kick off tomorrow?
Look, I can't give you the specifics of where they are going to posture specifically tomorrow, but I know that teams are up there and they will move to wherever they need to go at a specific time. But we certainly have forces up there at the moment.
Do you have an update on the numbers of reservists on Kangaroo Island?
So yesterday, I think we were at around about 100. I couldn't tell you where we will be at today.
Is there a breakdown of reservists generally, state by state?
We do have that. We do have that breakdown, and we can get that to you after if that would help.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.